games, and so when you get that exposure, it helps them a lot. And of course, here we are in a Champions League. We're going to see if these guys bring out anything new in this game.
Yeah, if we're going to be Cloud9, I don't think it'll be anything new and surprising. They've really been one of the most predictable teams. And something else that's pretty predictable is that Master Yi ban. Scarra definitely not shy about how much he really loves this champion for the mid lane because of the pushing potential. He's like, you can't really deny Master Yi CS. What you can do, and we saw last week in Anaheim, is repeatedly gank him over and over when he goes for those CS, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of predictable, I mean, there's Cloud9 grabbing the first pick, Jace, one of the big bans against them normally. The Master Yi, Diana, and Evelynn all banned away from Scarra as well. And wow, I mean, they're just blitzing through these picks.
Yeah, both teams pretty much expected all of these picks here. I mean, these bans and these picks. Nunu, of course, whenever you're not on blue side, pretty likely banned here in North America. He's had so much sensationalism around stealing the buffs, you know, even people flashing over and getting those. But that TF pick that they did snag, probably going to be actually KiWiKiD.
Yeah, they've been running that a lot, actually. I mean, the Scarra Zed's been absolutely huge. The KiWiKiD was great as well, and no more surprises. Elise up for the top lane, and you've got Meteos on his favorite Zac. Cloud9 are running Cloud9.
Yeah, he loves that champion. You can dive turrets very well with it because of that passive, the cell division. You'll just pop open into 4 more bloblets, and the turret will change targets. It won't stay on your blobs unless you're the only one left under there, in which case you're out of luck.
And you're just hopelessly watching it just shoot you, and you're like, no, 1 bloblet, no, 2, no, bloblet, stop! And then you just cry a little bit in the end.
Okay.
All right, but this may or may not happen this game, but I wanted to dramatize it a bit for you guys, because that's what we're all about.
This is a good reenactment. I like that.
The crying as the turret shoots you down, and of course, KiWiKiD hovering between Ashe and Draven. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually just Draven. I think the Ashe is less likely for this player here. And ooh, he keeps switching back. Okay, Graves sewn in the bottom lane there, but still another great early game AD carry.
Good. We can talk about Graves again. The other reason I really liked Graves and why it's my default AD carry when I go in solo, you just build the damage. Like, he scales, his abilities scale so well with damage. You can just build Bloodthirster and that last Whisper, like you said, with the armor penetration, and all of a sudden you have huge burst that you just have to be able to hit your targets with your abilities, and they're near home free.
As long as you got skill shots. Now, KiWiKiD, to his sake, actually said, yeah, I suck at Ezreal. I don't land any Mystic shots. So we might see him miss abilities here. He can
go for the shotgun approach. Just
if you can't hit a sniper rifle, grab a shotgun and go for it. So the Q will land, the R will see. But of course, Cloud9 still running their favorite champions here. Sneaky is going to be on that Draven. The Lulu we see a little bit less from LemonNation, but he's been playing that a lot.
I do like the Lulu pickup too, because Draven does need, you know, he gets dove on a lot, especially if the other team's going to run that Xin Zhao and that Zed. As soon as someone's right onto Sneaky, he doesn't have very many options except the giant growth, which will knock people up in the air.
And Crumbzz, of course, really back to an old spring split champion. I haven't seen Xin Zhao much in the past few months, but that was really an old standby for him right there. So Jarvan, Nautilus, all those initiators available, but after Crumbzz' Zac is gone, he's like, yeah, I'm going back to Xin Zhao, going back to Comfort. Let's rock it this way.
Yeah, and especially pairing that with the Sona last pick too, you can tell Dignitas are thinking very offensive-mindedly. They want people to be able to go in with Scarra. They don't want to have him be the one initiating and then half of the team kiting back. They're thinking flash crescendo in, everybody load all your damage here. We've got the burst AD carry in Graves, we've got the burst assassin with Scarra, and then Crumbzz is going to dash in there as well.
So it seems like both these teams are pretty well early game focused then, right? Draven and Graves, the early game AD carries, the early games for Twisted Fate, the Jace, the Elise, the Zac, all of them running around trying to start out fights. I feel like this game is going to start out with a brawl.
Yeah, and the thing to note is the junglers actually, Crumbzz will have a little bit more of an advantage in that very early, like as soon as he gets level 3 and for the next few levels, because all you need is that 1 level in your Audacious Charge to get the dash, but Zac actually needs a couple points in his Elastic Slingshot to make it more effective as a gank tool. Right at level 3, he's still a little bit weak with his ganks.
So it's going to be Meteos looking for a little bit of increased range. We're going to look for an increasingly awesome game. That didn't work at all. But Kobe and Frigg bringing you here game number 3 of July 4. It's It's going to be a great match right here. Dignitas in the red, Cloud9 in blue. And MLG, I miss you guys for being an amazing live audience, but at the same time, we have an amazing game with players here. And all you guys online, thanks for joining us for the show.
And look at this solo lane Doran start here for High. He started just with that Doran's Blade. It's a little bit rare that we see no consumables taken for a solo laner here, and he's really just going to be relying on his auto attacks to keep his health back up.
The only other guy I see ever run that is Kennen, actually, and he's just like, yeah, I'll just rely on that range and hope it works out for me, and I'll try to succeed right here. Interestingly enough, High is running 2 lifesteal Quints, so he has a bit more sustain than you'd otherwise expect.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to when you do run the Doran's Blade on Kennen, also grabbing that 4% at least, or if you're Nien Tanso, 6%. Everybody, though, dropping a couple early wards, and they're just going to exchange shots in the mid lane.
And they're really standing on top of each other. Actually, a pink ward coming out from Patoy, really trying to blind Cloud9 right here as they make their way in. Speaking of C9, they actually run in and spot Crumbzz as well, but he's alone on his side of the jungle.
Yeah, and that was actually 2 pink wards there, dropped very early by Patoy. He is almost out of wards now. He's only got 1 green ward left over for this laning phase.
And you did drop the little scout ward there at the bottom watching the double golem, so it'll let them see what these guys end up going for as the recalls come in. And now we just have this whole mess of guys, and we'll see what actually lanes they pick. There's a ton of wards in the red side jungle for Dignitas, so we might see an invade there at some point.
Yeah, Cloud9 actually will not probably be making visits down to that bottom side of the map because it's so well warded this early. If Meteos does head down to the duo lanes down there, then he'll be seen out. But the entire top side of the map is clear for him, so Meteos can make a lot of plays on this sort of top side of the map and even invade that red late if he wants to.
Well, we'll see what they end up doing with that one because Meteos has just finished clearing out his blue. Patoy and Imaqtpie clear their double golems up top, and we're actually going to see mirrored lanes more or less. KiWiKiD, kind of the de facto mid laner, being Twisted Fate this time around. The duo lanes both meeting in the top, and scarra, I feel like 90% of the time, is bottom lane.
Yeah, so it is the KiWiKiD Twisted Fate, and Meteos is going with the red invade here, but he's starting it up very early, and Crumbzz is going to get there.
He has pulled it into the brush. Crumbzz has joined up as well. Now, of course, there's 3 members of each team nearby. LemonNation's the first one to show up, though, so right now, Cloud9 does outnumber Dignitas, but Crumbzz still wants to contest for this. Here we go, the smite comes off, it's picked up by Meteos. Both smites used right there, Crumbzz doesn't quite land that, but High spots in on KiWiKiD, flashes, knocks him back into the team. KiWiKiD flashing over towards Crumbzz, gets slowed down by Zach. He just gets away, the last tick of Ignite does not quite take him down, but red stolen successfully here by Cloud9.
They couldn't quite continue to commit to that because only level 2 there. Meteos had no elastic slingshot to follow that up, try and get closer to KiWiKiD. Almost got in there with the flash, but that means Flash is going to be down for both the mid laners here and then also Meteos. But it was a very successful red steal there. Crumbzz, too early with his smite. You saw it go off, and then Meteos just cleaned it up.
All right, well, Crumbzz now with a bit of an undermanned jungle at this point is going to do his best to clear that up and survive for this matchup. A little rough for him, but we'll see him continue. Meteos, of course, a much easier time in his jungle, getting sustained through those Zac blobs, and he's going to have red, so again, I should say, a great start, or a better start to Cloud9's early jungle.
Yeah, and it was really a lot due, the confidence to invade there was due to not only Zac having that cell division passive that we keep on talking up, you know, he can, he'll have an extra life, but also because they are running this Draven Lulu lane, which is such a early game bully, they had the confidence that if both lanes collapse at the same time, Cloud9 are going to have the advantage overall.
And they're really pushing this lane really, really hard. The damage goes in on KiWiKiD, actually. Ignite off in a sting. This is going to be a battle. Parry is used by KiWiKiD. He gets hexed out there, but LemonNation dashes forward. Can he get the last attack in? It's going to be close. Sneaky forced to flash away. Oh, the barrier keeps him alive, and now LemonNation caught alone. Flashes away as well. Couple more shots to go. Will they have the damage? KiWiKiD buckshot. Oh, Patoy can't quite follow up, but it forces Cloud9 out.
Ooh, a little bit over-aggressive there. They were able to get the CS lead before they have to recall, but look at this wave now. KiWiKiD and Patoy actually have it in the perfect position. They can keep it at this turret for as long as they want.
And so we'll see them continue to pick up farm right there. The early minion kill lead had gone to Sneaky, but as you can see in the bottom of your screen, KiWiKiD now in the lead right now. And we'll see as the items scale on up. Now, KiWiKiD versus High. High did use his Ignite in that earlier engagement, but otherwise, this matchup is actually really heavily in High's favor. He's up 11 minions so far.
Yeah, and that's the aggressive Doran's Blade start that we talked about. Plus, the fact that the early invade gave High that very easy harass onto KiWiKiD, because KiWiKiD had to rotate in to help, but High was getting off free damage on KiWiKiD. So it kind of skewed the lane there. And even though High wasn't able to kill him, they got so much free damage that he basically won the lane.
A very good setup then by this Cloud9 team. All the lanes pushing out pretty hard, actually, putting pressure onto Dignitas' turret. And it seems like they're not too afraid of Crumbzz ganking, being that they're all really pushing past the river right now. I feel like that leaves Sinja open to turn something around.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much deserved because they stole the first red buff there from Crumbzz, so they knew he was going to be behind. But now, with no buffs up, Crumbzz is going to look to make his presence felt in the mid lane, and it's not a very strong presence, is it?
No, looks like that one got unwrapped early, and the acceleration gate really just used to get him out of there. So
I like what you did there.
Thank you very much. I was like so happy that I thought of that one. Sneaky and the Imaqtpie though, you look at them come back to lane with pretty interestingly different builds, because Sneaky got sent back early. He just got +1 Doran's Blade and then some potions, whereas KiWiKiD got a little bit more money, got the Vamp Scepter here, so a little bit more sustain for that Graves.
Yeah, the Graves is going to be in a much better position now that he does have the burst combo. And look, there's no wards out here for Cloud9, so they can't play super aggressive like that. This top lane for Cloud9 going to have to be a little bit more careful. I don't know why there was just not enough money there for LemonNation to grab up a couple extra wards, and he wanted to get the regen instead.
He rushed towards that Philo Stone. He's got just the recipe still to go right there, but we did see that top lane get zoned out for a while. Then we revisit the mid lane because now it matters. KiWiKiD is now level 6. He's got Destiny. He's got the ability to force a lane down and ruins people's day, puts damage on a High, gets poked back, but at any time he could show up in another lane.
Yeah, and he hasn't gone back to purchase his items yet, though, so a really good tip-off if you're playing against Twisted Fate that he's going for his first gank is his first buy, because he's going to want to come in with more impact than just a Crystalline Flask here. So next time that he does go back to purchase and High goes back to purchase, we'll probably see the action spike up in the game.
Yeah, and right now KiWiKiD has 1,500 gold, so he can go like Sorkshoe's Doran's Blade, or sorry, Sorkshoe's Doran's Ring, or just a bunch of early ability power. Of course, right now as well, it seems like Dignitas are waiting for their blue buff to respawn first, because they're going to give that to KiWiKiD and maybe use that cooldown reduction to make those ganks happen a little bit more frequently.
Yeah, and if they do give the blue buff to him now, then maybe they'll just continue to sit in this lane. Like, both these mid laners are just amassing ridiculous amount of gold. High's already got enough for a BF sword if he wanted to go back and just rush damage. We'll have to see what kind of Jace build he goes with if he still opts to get an early tier, being that he's amassed such a large gold pot already.
It's true. It's weird that, yeah, he's holding this lane. I feel like he's trying to keep KiWiKiD honest as well, saying if you ever leave your lane, I'll take your turret. So the constant pressure really helping that one out. Of course, we visit this top lane here, the two duo lanes right now. They haven't gone back to buy since the first time around, but it's now Dignitas, the team playing the aggressors. They're the one pushing down. They've got a ward mid upper river. It seems like they're safe.
Yeah, and that's because, look, 0 wards on the map here for Cloud9. Because they're staying in lane so long, and because LemonNation wasn't able to pick up any extra ones, they have no vision at all. So they have to start playing scared of Crumbzz, because he does have his flash up.
Yeah, he's Xin Zhao. It's gonna be a mess right there. But it is interesting to point out, actually, as we kind of progress through this sort of extended laning phase, that there's a 500 gold lead for Cloud9 despite being against Twisted Fate passive. Cloud9 are just out laning Dignitas right now.
Yeah, and a lot of... Oh, here we go. High some action in the middle there. It goes pretty aggressive onto Kiwi. And this might be that first back, so the TF teleport could come out after this. But Scarra, we just saw him roam all the way up from that bottom lane and waste, a good 15 seconds there, sitting and sort of camping High.
Another Shock Blast was landed mid right there, though. At this point, KiWiKiD cannot stay there anymore, but the top lane does have aggression. Sneaky low on health, does not let it stand aside. LemonNation still taking shots right there. Patoy pulls turret aggro, otherwise is okay. KiWiKiD keeps poking LemonNation, but they're not getting the turret just yet.
Yeah, when you have a Graves Sona lane both hit 6, that potential just goes through the roof. That is a ridiculous damage combo and CC combo that you can lock up with both those ultis. And KiWiKiD is not done here. He's getting right next to Lemon.
There comes a TF ult as well. Patoy pulls the turret aggro. It's actually a gank towards the bottom lane, is it? KiWiKiD shows up there, forces the jump away from Balls, who has no flash anymore. There's the gold card from across the wall. Team shows up. First blood goes to Scarra.
So it was KiWiKiD just waiting for that first buy back, and then Destiny comes out immediately, boom, first blood, great for Dignitas. Now they can actually chain it into a dragon because they have this pink ward here, but it looks like they're not going to go for it, probably due to the threat of Meteos, elastic slingshotting in and coming to steal that one. They'd rather take the safe route, shove this bottom lane in.
They're going to get good damage on it. The attack speed comes off from Crumbzz, and there we go. Scarra and co. just drinking that thing down, so it'll be below half at the very least, but the minion wave dying fairly rapidly. Now, what to watch here is, you mentioned Dragon coming up, because the teams are making, well, one team is making lane movements. Cloud9 has put their dual lane towards the bottom half. Dignitas are actually keeping KiWiKiD and Patoy top lane.
Yeah, they're going to keep them up there. They do have, the burst that we talked about, since they've both hit level 6. So after their ultimates come back on cooldown, Balls is actually going to have to be very careful, and he will have to dodge one part of that combo at least with his repel, because his flash is no longer up.
That's going to be rough. Then maybe he can, just dodge it with the, yeah, exactly. Blah. Repel, going to be good. All right, moving on. Crumbzz looking for this mid lane. Oh, right as High goes in. 2v2 battle in the mid lane. KiWiKiD getting knocked backwards, takes him down. Nice pick up there by High, and now Crumbzz is alone. He's going to have to run away from this one. Knocks Meteos into the air, and he's surviving.
Great double gank right there. The advantage obviously to C9 because they got the damage off first, but it also gives them the pink ward control over Dragon. We had just seen Dignitas place that one and try and clear it out. The tables have turned now, and Cloud9 have the vision advantage, plus the man advantage down in that bottom side as KiWiKiD and Patoy return for the 2 vs 2.
There they are there, and KiWiKiD takes a spinning axe to the face, and that's not a happy thing for him, so he's got to just try to clear out from his turret, and all right, these guys are surviving for now. But speaking of other advantages, actually, that Cloud9 has picked up, I noticed that the junglers, at the time of that mid lane gank, were 2 levels apart. Meteos was 8 when Crumbzz was 6. So Meteos has been significantly out-jungling Crumbzz so far.
Yeah, and Meteos has talked about his jungling style. He says it's much safer than a lot of other junglers, and he focuses on farming very hard unless there's a clear gank path.
And then gank comes in there on the balls. He's going to get knocked up right in front of the turret. Crumbzz picks up the kill, but not before trading on a scarra.
So more gold actually went over to Dignitas, but since they are 2 men up on top side, it actually means Meteos not hesitating to go in the back door here for the Dragon.
Goes in plenty early, just eating those bobbles up to get his health back there. There is the rest of Cloud9. The other 4, that is going to be, looks like their Dragon pretty safely right here. Not contested whatsoever by Dignitas. They've set their dual lane bottom, shoved the wave to the turret, but looks like they'll have to back away from this one.
Yeah, Dignitas actually shoved all 3 lanes right there. Crumbzz still stayed up top. High stayed in the middle, or excuse me, KiWiKiD stayed in the middle there, and they were able to get a little bit of extra CS back, which sort of bounces out a little bit of the experience and gold from Dragon, but not nearly the same global effect.
So that 1,000 gold lead right here for Cloud9, and that is basically the Dragon right there. The rest of the landing phase has seemed to be equaled out, as well as the kills right now. So we look at this dual lane. It's right now Sneaky still running towards the back. Pretty similar items still between these 2 AD carries, though. Both going towards that early Bloodthirst or that early game burst damage. The blue buff is going to go back over toward KiWiKiD.
Yeah, Kiwi's going to pick up his, but High picked up the opposing blue buff too, so they're just going to be trying to both shove this wave. And when High clears the wave, it opens up the opportunity for him to land his shock blast actually onto KiWiKiD and try and keep KiWiKiD from teleporting just by constantly harassing him. Meanwhile, both junglers turning their attention down bottom.
Here we go, potential 3v3 in the bottom lane. Crumbzz standing on a pink ward. Oh, Meteos wards it out. Good Spidey sense there by Meteos. I mean, wrong player on the team to have it, but good blob sense there by Meteos. A little bit of pressure with his turret. KiWiKiD wants to get this one down, but Crumbzz has left his team alone. Yeah,
Crumbzz has left the building, and they actually had the ward at Dragon see Crumbzz leave. So Dignitas or Cloud9 can be a little bit more sure that they're not going to get ganked. At least by the jungler. They still have to worry about Twisted Fate, and their turret solo!
There we go, the burst comes off! Oh, LemonNation explodes, has no chance to wild growth flash or anything. And Dignitas in the 2v2 lane, pick up the turret, here comes Twisted Fate as well. Sneak is gonna get stunned up. This should be a kill, burns barrier, doesn't even need to. Double kill here for Imaqtpie.
Yeah, don't worry, you have to worry about a gank from Crumbzz, but KiWiKiD still has his destiny, so he's going to come clean that one up, and we just saw the power of the Sona Graves lane. Those 2 ultimates, so much burst damage right there. Graves pretty easy as long as you land your buckshot and your collateral damage.
Oh, very good pickup right there. Meteos going to land his abilities on the minion wave and get some gold back up there, but otherwise, not too good for Cloud9. No, Scarra still being given these side lanes, still trying to farm right here, but he's had rough luck in all of his lanes. He's at 87 minions, is the lowest of any of the major carries in the game right here. Aside from the early kill, he's not had good luck fighting minions.
Yeah, Scarra's he's been having a tough time. And on the flip side, he's matched up sort of there with High. High's been having the best time in this whole game. He's just been really dominating, and KiWiKiD's been able to get his ganks off and leave the lane. But anytime he does leave lane, High gets the entire wave of CS plus damage on the turret.
A very good job by these teams then to push as a response to people taking things down. We saw Dignitas push all 3 lanes in response to Dragon. And of course, you just talked about High pushing in response to Twisted Fate leaving. So the minion lead still kind of holding a little bit true for this Cloud9 team right here. Crumbzz kind of alone in this top turret, but Ball's not looking to dive. That turret, though, speaking of Cloud9, we call them the sort of early fast push team. They still haven't taken one down this game, 16 minutes in.
And, the longer games in the early game really do come from when the teams decide to go 2 versus 2 lanes instead of 2 versus 1 lanes. Meteos just missing off his elastic slingshot there. But since, both Cloud9 and Dignitas opted at the beginning of the game to send their AD and supports top, it's been a little bit longer to take the turret. The bottom one there, though, did end up going down for Dignitas because KiWiKiD and Patoy too strong with the burst combo.
The push again on a sneaky good stand aside, pushes KiWiKiD back. And of course, to keep tabs on the turrets, the mid lane Dignitas turret is very, very low on health. So High pushing that wave whenever TF leaves has gotten him 90% of that turret right there. Crumbzz jumps in on the High. A little bit of damage, but they're going to trade back. Here comes Meteos. They're going to jump down. Left bounce comes across on Crumbzz. Crumbzz will go down. Good kill pickup there. Cloud9 making it 3-4.
100% baited right there. It was so clear with High. Just on the edge of the Audacious Charge range right there, he let Crumbzz dash into them. And then they ended up with a kill, but wow, a little bit too aggressive.
KiWiKiD picking that one up very successfully, using the turret, I believe, a little bit to help that one happen. But they traded that one back 5-3. KiWiKiD and Patoy still successful in this lane. A 20 minion kill lead for KiWiKiD. Of course, he's 2-0. And he's up a turret against these guys. This duo lane is right now saving Dignitas.
Yeah, Dignitas, their carries are definitely the duo lane. Not quite sure what happened up there in the middle. Looks like High was able to bait, but not quite outsmart.
And there we go. Balls and Scar now in a duel in the top lane. Scar, it gets maybe dodged out by the repel entirely. Balls flashes in though. Scar, he's got to go down. Nice pickup there. Balls winning the 1v1.
Yeah, the lead is just way too big for Balls right now. There's another combo bot.
But the Hex comes off on a KiWiKiD, does not allow him to use the ultimate. KiWiKiD flashes forward. Barrier is on. Does he have enough damage for Sneaky? He does. And now LemonNation stuck. Forced to flash away on the wall, but Crumbzz was waiting for him. Another 2-kill trade for Dignitas.
And great tower management right there. Patoy taking it up until the last bar of his health right there, allowing KiWiKiD and KiWiKiD to pick up both kills right there.
Very, very successful moves then by this Dignitas crew. Of course, High just gonna, again, sweep the waves away. Now, Balls, though, he did win that duel in the top lane. He's been rewarded with the turret, so constantly these teams are using pushing as their response to bad things happening to them in other places on the map.
It's pretty interesting, too, that before the game we talked about how the AD difference between the AD carries and how Lemon said that Sneaky's really good with having a huge effect with little gold because he's the one on C9 right now who's doing the worst. He's got the least gold. They lost their lane. The solo laners for Cloud9 are doing amazing, whereas Dignitas, it's completely the opposite. It's going to have to be KiWiKiD, once again, trying to carry them, and their solo laners picking up slack.
Exactly. There's like 100 gold difference between Meteos and Sneaky right now. Normally you expect AD carries to be well above that. So Cloud9, though, still looking for global objectives. They're losing in kills, but they still find control here. Another Dragon goes their way. That makes number 2 for this team. Dignitas trying to challenge us maybe. And Meteos says, no, I'm aggressive, but not that aggressive. Let's back out.
Looks like they're still chasing here. Half of Dignitas pull off, though, and that means they should not go in any longer.
Yeah, Balls looks for Scar, and Scar is like, nope, not wanting to deal with this one at all. The wave clear still coming out from Cloud9, though. They look for the bottom lane turret. Looks like it's going to be a 4 versus 3 right here. This could be good.
They are going to be able to defend this turret because Crumbzz came. More reinforcements are on the way. 4 versus 3 is still a hard tower dive, even if you do have Zac. So they're actually going to change their attention here. And actually, KiWiKiD, he really put a lot of pressure on that middle, so he allowed the rest of his team this freedom down bottom.
And high jumps in onto KiWiKiD, forcing him back, but there was a cannon minion wave pushing down that mid lane turret. So Cloud9's mid turret still actually taking damage, dropping lower and lower. Only 700 health left there. Of course, I want to say smart move by KiWiKiD because he did push the wave down, but then backed out to not get caught. Crumbzz Rev gets jumped on. There's the last bounce, getting shot against the wall. Flashes over at KiWiKiD is there as well. Now Patoy's the one singled out, but I think he's going to be safe from this one, only getting slowed down. Shock blast comes. Yeah, he's going to be safe.
Okay, so they were able to get out of there. Some flashes burned, but completely worth it because they drew all of Cloud9 into the jungle, and KiWiKiD again shoving that lane, getting more damage on this turret. He's almost evened up the damage on these mid turrets. High had such a huge lead from the early game when KiWiKiD was leaving, but it's been evened up right here, and very, very close game once again. As you can tell from the gold, you know, Dignitas slightly still in the lead. 200
gold, not even all that's from Twisted Fate, really. You got to remember, they've got maybe 500-600 cumulative minion kills among the entire team. That would be, you know, 1,100-1,200 gold for the team, but they're only up 200, means that Cloud9, if you don't got that TF passive, are doing a lot of good things despite being down 3 kills. We're seeing them again try to put pressure down. The mid lane does finally fall. Good pickup there for C9.
So that is going to be 2 turrets to 1 now. The bottom. Oh, here comes TF ult.
There we go. Can they get it on Sneaky? Oh, a beautiful slow by LemonNation. The ult comes out from Sneaky as well. KiWiKiD nearly drops down, but just barely survives it. Looks like the bleed will not seal the deal, and now LemonNation, again, slowing KiWiKiD, does not quite have enough, though. His health so low. Smoke bomb comes out. Here comes Crumbzz. He's going to dash in. 1, 2, and give it to KiWiKiD. Man, that guy is 3-0 and 2. A lot of gold on that man.
Ooh, and this is why you get boots of mobility on so many junglers. Crumbzz able to make it all the way down there because he stayed out of combat and able to pick up that extra kill for Dignitas.
They had, of course, lurks for the kill onto High, but High scouts it out with a shock blast. The team, though, still looking to push this turret down below half HP, but the 3v2, they might not want it under the turret. Meteos going to be able to clear this wave up pretty successfully. No turret kill just yet.
And because they're all defending down that bottom, it opens up again. The mid for KiWiKiD is going to finish off, trade back the middle turrets here, so Dignitas even it back up.
Takes that one down in style with a Lichbane blue card. A lot of bursts coming out from Fate. Actually, we've seen Lichbane TF so much more than before. I keep tracking because the one champion I really can't play in mid lane, and I keep tracking players' builds, and it's like, all right, Flask, usually a couple Thorns rings, but it's like, this split has been always Lichbane. They keep picking that one up for the power.
Yeah, it's been interesting that we've seen people shy away from that Zhonya's Hourglass, favoring the extra damage here. But look at Cloud9. They're not wasting any time here. They do have a blue buff Jace that has a ridiculous amount of farm, one of their most fed carries on this Cloud9 team. So the poke is very strong, at least from that one person.
Push comes in from Scarra, and KiWiKiD jumps over to the top side. His balls, can he get away? Blade of the Rune King used. Is the gold card going to time out? It's not. It's going to be the one picked up. There's Cocoon back on Scarra. Balls just, they're standing on top of him right now. He's got to go down. Scarra picks up that kill. Great gank by KiWiKiD.
Yeah, very close. Balls was inches away from flashing back over this little wall here. It's pretty thick at that point where he was, so it's chancy. You don't want to fail that flash. If you can't get more than halfway across, then you're going to just get bounced back to the same side and die anyway.
He is going to die anyway, so there we go. Patoy and Imaqtpie still staying into the mid lane. 3 men right there. Scarra and KiWiKiD just holding on, making attention in the top lane. They have pulled High elimination over. So the rest of their team's still looking to go over. Oh, look, flash in. Is it going to be enough? High taking a bunch of pain. Kiwi is ignited. Will it be? Yes, it will. High picks that one up. And Scarra also forced away, but here comes Crumbzz. Crumbzz picks up 1. Will he get the answer back? Sneaky in the meantime looks for Imaqtpie. KiWiKiD trying to run the flash in from Meteos. He's still cutting back. KiWiKiD, can he outplay that? The barrier comes out. Still lifesteal taking. Patoy killed Sneaky, but that is a trade back 1-for-1. And KiWiKiD did survive that one. Excellent play by Draven.
Patoy too. Excellent play by Patoy to take out Sneaky. He turned back around, used the auto attack reset with his cord, and was able to take him down. Now Crumbzz looking for LemonNation.
Use that cord to strangle him, you might say. LemonNation and Meteos now, they're going to be just sweeping. It seems like it's Meteos time and again is the one who cleans up the scraps. 0-0-2. He hasn't found many good ganks, but that man has shown up to the dead lane like 5 times this game.
Yeah, just coming after the nick of time, maybe we'll say. But I also wanted to shout out KiWiKiD just before that last sort of flash forward and a little bit over-aggressive move that cost him his life. He's been the one to create so many of these plays for Dignitas.
So he's been massive, of course. Patoy has been great as well. We have a quick replay of that Patoy duel
So he's running away here. He uses the charge. You can see he heals and then turns around for the power chord. He just wanted to get that extra spell off, so every third cast you get the power chord down and for the burst damage. And he also comboed that with his Ignite to surprise Sneaky right there and take him down, trading lives.
In the case it wasn't mentioned, that Q power chord is going to deal double damage, so wanted to make sure that was the one that came out. So beautiful play by Patoy, knowing his champion so very well. And now we're left with a game that is actually a bit more in Dignitas' favor now. They're now up a turret. You've got a 2,500 gold lead for these guys. Cloud9, though, to their credit, have always and forever been controlling this dragon. They've got them unanswered time and time again. That's really the best thing keeping Cloud9 in the game right now.
Yeah, this is going to be one more dragon because they had the timer on that. But Dignitas, they made the move to clear out Baron. They can actually continue split pushing here. They definitely should not do this Baron because Cloud9 are on the way.
They are on the way. Here we go.
Some
Moving
baits.
forward. The wards are there. Of course, they're going to be blind. The E comes across, and here they go. It's Meteos in the middle of the enemy team. Let's Bounce comes across, as is the Wild Growth. LemonNation in the front. One kill has already got that on a Scarra, so Cloud9 starting off well. There's the Cell Division. Crumbzz forced back. KiWiKiD low on health. Patoy and KiWiKiD also running away. Cloud9 are crushing this fight right now. Double kill so far. Patoy going down as well. 3 kills. The Cocoon lands on a KiWiKiD. Balls picks up the kill. Only Crumbzz left alive, but this is now Cloud9's Baron.
And now Cloud9 are going to be the ones picking up this Baron buff. That's exactly why I said they should not do this Baron. The reason Meteos did not hesitate to go in there is because he has a Cell Division, and they will get the advantage if all of Dignitas are grouped up around Baron in this pit. Not only will it be susceptible to AoE, but Baron's going to be hitting Dignitas. So Meteos gets in there, they aggro Baron, and they got free damage.
Absolutely amazing initiation by Cloud9. No hesitation and exactly perfect team fighting. One of the best things about this team right here. So Sneaky, for once in his life, I think, is actually given solo lane farm to clean up before he recalls back. And now it's Cloud9 with the power play. They've got a 2,500 gold lead. They're the ones whose minions pushing all the waves right now. Dignitas are the ones forced to clean this up and try to save their turrets. But all the cards really have fallen out of KiWiKiD's deck right now.
Yeah, that was a rough move there from Dignitas. It's like basically setting a trap inside a bear's den where the bear is sleeping behind you. And then they woke up the bear, and now you've got your enemy in front of you and this giant Baron behind you hitting you.
Oh, giant Baron. So there we go. It was good. It was good. So LemonNation now, the rest of the team. Right now, Cloud9 is the team with the advantage, right? I talked about it earlier, them not getting a lot of turret kills. Now they've turned it on. 26 minutes in, 3 turret kills down for these guys, wearing the Baron buff still. And if I know anything about Cloud9, I'm going to see Meteos diving a turret pretty soon.
Oh, Sneaky's under threat, though.
Down below half, one forced to flash away. Balls gets caught out, so much burst comes across. Beautiful pickup there, and KiWiKiD forces Zodia's the return shot. LemonNation is around. Sneaky's going to land that Q. Good return kill picked up, 4v4. KiWiKiD trying to run away. Crescendo comes across. Dignitas still on the run away, but the Soda and the acceleration gate both trying to haste teams away.
And Scar is still split pushing this whole time. Crumbzz does get caught, though.
And there's the knock-in. The damage output's there. Good kill pickup. Cloud9 to 2 for 1. Scar takes a turret down for this and is still moving in towards the base. Cloud9 must react to this.
We've seen so many split pushing Zeds just constantly, and he's going to get this damage pretty easily onto the turret here. Half of Cloud9 decide not to recall. They're shoving up the middle, and they're going to trade an inhibitor for a secondary turret.
This inhibitor is going down. Meteos is the only one I've seen back so far. There's Jace as well, but the inhib goes down. Cloud9 did not react in time. Second middle turret does go down. The initiation goes in towards Imaqtpie. Slow lands from Meteos. Let's bounce. He wants to start this fight. There's Scarra. Jumps in onto High. Does he have the damage? I don't think he does. High's going to survive the death mark. And there's Elise nearby as well. The acceleration gate. The shock blast is dodged. But they're re-engaged now on towards Sneaky. Huge chunks of life gone away, but they do kill Imaqtpie. Sneaky's still around there. LemonNation holding the front line as well, but these guys are alone 2v2.
Ooh, yeah, Scar and KiWiKiD down there. After split pushing and grabbing that inhibitor, they should have split pass. If you just leave one man, every man for himself, basically, run for it. But they actually tried to pull off a play there, and good job by High and Meteos, able to actually outplay them, and they were able to take down both kills for free. So good answer, but it was the inhibitor for Dignitas.
So this is another, we keep seeing the situation in the LCS. There's one team with an inhibitor lead, one team with a Baron lead, and then just weird things start happening because Cloud9 have to be constantly aware of this top lane. You're seeing balls push this out slowly because of super minions, but constantly push that out, trying to keep his base alive. But in the meantime, the rest of the team pushes bottom, and this is theirs.
There's a twisted fate here on Dignitas, though, so if they felt like going and catching a 4 vs 5 fight with a Baroned up Cloud9, they could actually make this one happen.
And of course, Balls, though, still being left alone, though. So right now, looks like there's no numbers advantage just yet found for Dignitas. There's the Destiny comes across. Flash Crescendo lands. High gets cut out. Wild Growth comes across. KiWiKiD likely to die, but High's going to fall as well. 1 kill, 2 for 1 so far, but now Imaqtpie on the back lines. They're forcing Meteos back. Meteos flashes over. Will the team chase? They put a ward down. KiWiKiD chases this one. Goes for the auto attacks. 200 damage crits, and Meteos just jumps back over the wall. He might just escape this one. KiWiKiD takes a blue, but Balls takes a turret.
So Dignitas, they did make the decision to take the 4 vs 5. It was a conscious decision. They sacrificed the top turret. They got 2 kills for 1, though. KiWiKiD, you know, a little bit too squishy. He does have Lasagnas, but wasn't able to save him there. If you do get CC'd, then you can't pull that one off.
So unfortunate there by KiWiKiD, but hey, the team at least won a team fight for it right there. Knocks some more Baron buffs off. And if I look at the rest of the top lane engage almost there. Scarra and Balls looking at each other right there. KiWiKiD shows up nearby as well. Spiderling's there. Meteos jumps the wall. Crumbzz shows up, and it's going to be Balls trying to make the great escape right there. Goes back in. He's going to take so much pain right there. That will be a kill picked up by KiWiKiD. Great kill, Dignitas.
I love how Scarra started that one off with his Blade of the Rune King too, and used the speed buff from it to dodge the cocoon. Really nice play there by Scarra.
Very beautiful stuff, and of course Cloud9 now are the team on cleanup duty. These teams are very good at manipulating their minion waves, getting them pushing, and using them to create pressure on the map. Very successful by these guys. Dignitas now, where are they going to look? Baron buff is off the opposing team. They're the one with a global ultimate in about 30 seconds. And of course Dragon, those coming up before then. This might be a 5v5.
So it'll actually be a 4v5 if they do engage, because Balls is still dead. But Scar's nowhere near, so Dignitas are going to have to take their time, and they actually, it's too late, so the Dragon's already gone. KiWiKiD has a red buff, but they decide not to chase, so Cloud9, again, they time this Dragon to the second, and they always get right into position, immediately taking it, even though Dignitas have numbers advantage.
So with that, they stretch their gold lead now, about 4,500 gold for these guys. Dignitas are looking to backdoor this mid lane turret. They do find it right there. Again, that Lichbane. Plus, Imaqtpie's attack speed really help him make that one happen. So, successful turret kill so far. You can see Balls forced so deep into his own base defending this, and Dignitas have a power play in the bottom lane.
Ooh, they're just going to circle around, get a free turret right here, and force Cloud9 to come down. Because, remember, the bottom inhibitor is still down. So that is going to be pushed in by super minions. And whenever you have a side lane inhibitor down, the super minions, they actually focus onto just the single side Nexus turret, and they can take it by themselves, whereas a middle inhibitor, the double Nexus turrets usually clear those out by itself.
So very fortunate inhibitor grab then, and good smart lane choice then by Scar of what to split push, creating so much pressure on the map. And as a result, you can see that Dignitas have a 7-5 turret lead. They are actually winning the map so far, have made their way in on the enemy base. That will constantly be a reminder of Cloud9 to worry about split pushes for the rest of this game as they try and struggle over and over again to sweep these minions out of their lanes. But right now, the map control lead is definitely to Dignitas, even without a gold lead.
Right, so they're behind in gold, but since their composition is so burst heavy, they feel ridiculously strong in these fights, and they've been able to pick out the
they found elimination
targets.
The slow core does land for Patoy. The Destiny as well spots the rest, and they're going to go in for this one. KiWiKiD gets stunned up. Can he? Zodia's in time. There it is being used. Crumbzz going to fall over. 1 for 0. KiWiKiD going to drop as well. 2 for 0 towards Cloud9, and will they keep engaging? It's going to be the re-engage by Scar. I don't think he has enough burst damage though. 3 for nothing, and now KiWiKiD forced to run away. High lands the shock blast. No, flashed away by KiWiKiD. But that's going to be, maybe even Baron for Cloud9.
Great job by Cloud9 collapsing on that one. They didn't let Dignitas get out free, and they're going to chase down KiWiKiD too.
Oh, Balls forces Zodia's High now in a duel with KiWiKiD, but KiWiKiD is huge right now. Will he have the damage he needs? No, High just takes him down with the Muramata. Balls just survives as well, and now it's Baron Dasher going down to just 3. Cloud9 gets that one.
That was an amazing job by Cloud9. After the catch out by Dignitas, they collapsed on Lulu. LemonNation built completely tanky this game, so he didn't go down fast. And because KiWiKiD teleported in to try and finish him off without immediately popping his Zanyas, he got bursted down before he could go immune.
So beautiful job right there. Then amazing team fighting. Cloud9 taking that one very successfully. and that makes them 7,000 gold now in the lead. The first major lead we've seen of this game, and that top inhibitor has respawned, so the map pressure is gone, the Baron buff is there. Cloud9, the advantageous team in every way we can think of on this map right now, and I alluded to it maybe 10 minutes ago, last time they were ahead, like, okay, now Cloud9 will push. The last time that happened, though, Dignitas had a miraculous recovery. Now again, Cloud9's in the lead, and it's Dignitas' turn to respond.
Exactly. Still with the gold deficit even larger, and the Baron buff now to compound that. Cloud9 are the ones that are going to be running this map. Dignitas, they have to spread their pressure. They have to have KiWiKiD make use of his ultimate. The only problem is that he can't get too far from his base because Cloud9 will not hesitate to dive a turret. They have Zac, they have the Baron buff, his cell division is ready to go, and they will go straight up the middle.
You can see that right there. They've got 3 strong. The other one's lurking in from the shadows. And speaking of shadows, Zed is actually going to recall back, try to defend this one, but the first inhibitor is going to go down. The initiation in on a KiWiKiD. He's going to get knocked around. Crescendo comes across. LemonNation takes the burst, but they don't need to kill the support. The 80, the mid laner goes down now. Crumbzz forced to run backwards. Balls just dealing with Imaqtpie right now. KiWiKiD does go down, but scarra has returned. Do they have the damage they need? Scarra getting knocked around right there. So many kills coming in for High. Another double kill for him. Only one member of C9 is dead, but only one member of Dignitas is alive.
And Cloud9 showing the benefits of not hesitating, immediately jumping past that turret, and they're rewarded with Nexus turrets.
This is going to be the game. Cloud9 taking it in style, remaining in first place right here as the structures continue to fall high, and the rest of the crew is going to take this one down. Congratulations, Cloud9.
Great job coming back right there. Just very well played team fights towards the end of the game by Baron. Those are the ones that are going to cost you the most, because right after the 4-man kill there for Cloud9, easy Baron, and they roll that all the way into the end of the game.
And even the first Baron fight as well, Dignitas had this really cool bait where they were
cool bait.
it was a good try, right? They were in the advantage. They had a gold lead in general. They swept all the wards out and said, you have to face check us. But Cloud9 face-checked with a Zac, which hurt really bad.
Well, there was also another example of Cloud9, their team unity, and not hesitating, because they all immediately jumped into that Baron pit. You're right, that Dignitas bait would have worked if Cloud9 straggled in one by one, very hesitant to check. But they had no fear. They just jumped right in that pit and decimated Dignitas.
Cloud9 playing much at home, and we've heard them talk about how they all play aggressively. They all are naturally aggressive players, and so they're not only natively on the same page as each other, but it also means that they are happier while playing, because they're playing as they want to be playing. Right, this is the way they want to be playing League of Legends, jumping in, starting fights, being aggressive, doing all these cool things, and it keeps morale up. They've had very, very few issues with both coordination and morale as a team overall, despite getting losses once in a while. It's great to see a team just in their own element.
Yeah, you definitely saw the smiles on their faces, and it paid off really huge right there.
So beautiful stuff by them, but we've got to take a short break. However, when we return, we're going to sit down with Sneaky and LemonNation from first place Cloud9. Then Counterlogic Gaming faces off against Team Coast in our 4th match of the day. Week 4 of the North American LCS Summer Split will continue right after this.